evening, everyone. How are you all?
Welcome to Two Geek Girls. I hope everyone's doing really well this Sunday. It's the end of another week. Hasn't it been fun?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lyssa, have we recovered from the 24-hour marathon?
Mostly?
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 But we raised money. You raised money.
We did. In total, between what we did around Christmas and what we raised on Wednesday, we raised $1,200 for the Critical Role Foundation.
Yay. Good.
So.
Awesome.
It's an itty.
Yeah, she's like, I hear you talking to somebody. You need to pay attention to me, not whatever you're doing.
Uh-oh. Oh, gosh.
Yep. So how's everyone else doing this week? Hope everything is going okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Olive. Hi, Claude. How are you two?
I think it's been a long week for everyone, and that's okay. That's okay. Yes, I did watch WandaVision. Lyssa, did you get a chance?
Not yet.
No. I mean, at this point, only 2 episodes in. It's while there are Easter eggs in there, it's still
exactly,
is what it is, which is fun. It's really fun to see the characters really doing well with the campy at moments. It's kind of like, oh my god, I'm watching the Dick Van Dyke Show. This is awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Donnie.
It's a lot of fun. Huh?
I said, hello, Donnie.
It is. I can barely hear you. I feel bad now.
Hello?
How about you guys? I mean, I can, but it's really quiet. It might just be me, which is really weird. But that's
can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, as long as you guys can hear her fine, I'll just get closer to the phone. It's all good. That's what's important. So yes, excited for WandaVision, excited for all the other shows that are coming out. Hopefully we won't have the need to find more and more shows to binge in the next few weeks, but who knows? Who knows?
I'm currently in the process of trying to find a place to get my COVID shot.
Yes, those are rolling out. Several of my friends have already had them. I am like at the bottom of the list. Forever, as far as I know.
Because I am my grandfather's caretaker.
Yeah, you're around a senior citizen.
Yep.
So yes.
Yep. I am part of this second portion of the first part of the rollout.
Yes. And as much as I would, like to really rib Alec on it, he's not a senior citizen yet, as far as they're concerned. So
yeah, he's not over 65 yet.
No. He's still just 60. That's okay.
Just 60.
So, we're waiting our turn. Hopefully it won't be too long. Let's see. Yeah, there's somebody 173 million-ish. That sounds about right. That sounds about
Feels
right.
like it.
I got the flu I already got the flu one for this year. They gave me that.
Yeah, I got that one already. I got that 3 months ago at this point?
I only got mine a couple weeks ago.
I want to say I got mine in October or November.
Okay. Yeah, I got have to be December something that I got mine. Give or take. So just a little bit after that.
And it kicked my ass.
I was okay. Just the arm pain. So all good.
It knocked me the fuck out.
Oh yeah, you're definitely tired. Yeah, it's the same thing I see happen to all my dogs whenever we get them like a rabies vaccine or something.
Yep.
They're just out of it for the next day or so, but better than rabies, so it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's better than catching whatever it is.
Yes.
Plus, since I am around my grandfather all the time, it's like, just in case. Even though I have been like observing all the precautions because of COVID, like, I'd rather not get him sick in case.
Just in case. No, and it was very affordable. I did I actually, since it wasn't January 1st yet, I just went to like the new Walmart clinics
Uh-huh.
and did that, and I think I got absolutely everything done.
Nice.
Like,
I went to Walgreens. I had to pick up my grandfather's prescription anyway. And so while I was there, I was like, hey, can I
Just
go
get
ahead
flu
and
shot.
get the flu shot?
Yes.
Plus, like, I've got my, what is it, like, GoodRx card on file. So even though I don't have insurance, like, I at least have some kind of something.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of stuff, if it's preventable, is
Yeah.
supposed to be incredibly affordable and all that stuff.
I
Woohoo.
want to say I paid like 20 something dollars for it.
Yeah.
24,
Yeah.
which isn't bad.
No, that's But at Walmart with no insurance, getting absolutely every test done that a woman can get done, um, that at every shot, every examination, giving them a quart of blood or whatever it is they took from me, all of the tests that were ordered only cost me like $100 something bucks.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very affordable. They also have eye, ear, nose, throat, teeth, and it's all to scale. So, yeah, people are just figuring out it's actually quite affordable. And so far, I was quite impressed with the service. So,
That's good.
please go get a physical exam if you can. Please go get stuff done if you can. They are observing every precaution. They will do all the testing on site, and they got back to me in like a week.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's about normal for blood tests and everything.
Yeah, it would normally be a ton. The one thing I would caution is that they did not, and I was okay with it because I had already gone through the sheet myself. I'd looked at the sheet, but they didn't give me an estimate before. Like, we were talked over everything we were going to do. They didn't do an estimate where they come out and say, okay, it's going to cost this much. You still good? Which you kind of really should do.
Yeah.
That. I was okay, but I was kind of surprised they didn't do that, because then you might have sticker shock when you go to check out. It's like, but still, it was only 100 and something. So
Yeah.
we're good. Yeah. Anyway, so I took care of all of that before it got too cold outside, and I didn't want to leave the house at all. That's just me.
I'm an essential worker when it comes to getting around in town ordinances, but not a vaccine priority.
That's.
What is it you do again, Olive?
Yeah.
Because, like, depending on what it is, that might be what they're considering.
Yeah, I think what it means is, like, you have an essential job that hasn't been shut down or isn't in lockdown. Like, it is something like, I mean, but in some places that was somebody working at a liquor store.
Yeah.
Like, you were put in the classification of an essential worker, so curfews and lockdowns didn't apply to you, but you weren't a medical or healthcare.
Well, and like
field.
food service is
food service
considered.
Yeah, if any delivery service, yeah, they were letting Uber, Lyft, or Postmates and stuff like that, so that people could get stuff. People that were in the grocery stores, these were all considered essential. Yeah, because the places of business were essential, like liquor. Which it's really depressing to hear why the liquor stores were allowed to open in the first year. But welcome to America.
Like, you kind of have to, because otherwise people will die.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It was for medical purposes, that people who had addiction problems and people who had become dependent on it, they couldn't risk people
also
their
just
mouthwash.
Because people are kind of stuck in really freaking lockdown too.
Yes.
Like, what else are you gonna fucking do?
Yes. And bear in mind, if you were in California or Colorado, you were allowed to deliver marijuana.
Oh.
It was essential. So, yeah.
Well then.
Not in Georgia yet, but unless you're with the VA. If you're with the VA and you have a prescription card, there are exceptions. But other than that, yes. So that's where we are. Let's see, nerd news. I'm as a DC fan, I'm still watching everything that's happening at HBO Max, what's coming out. Super excited, you know, Batman the animated series. I get to watch everything again instead of like I had the DVD set that I was sharing with everybody and got totaled, but that's okay. So the Justice League movie is not going to be 4 parts.
Okay.
They have rescinded that, and they're going to just do one long movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So bear in mind with that,
that can be a good thing or a bad thing depending
this is
on
getting
the
weird.
script.
It's getting weird.
If they had originally intended it to be a 4-part thing,
4 parts,
then this could mean that they didn't think 4 parts would be strong enough, and it would be better for the storyline to be condensed.
Or they're pretty sure not everyone's going to watch the last 2 parts.
Yes. And another thing is, like, when you have these things that really should be broken up into multiple parts, and they condense it down into one movie.
Long movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
we've
seen
this could be a good thing, or it could be a really bad thing. Okay. And until we see more, like, I don't know whether or not, or like which option it is.
Right. So we've seen projects that we're looking back, like, you didn't need to make that 2 movies. You could have made that a longer movie. I would have been totally fine sitting for another half hour. It wouldn't have been a problem. Totally used to it. We're getting used to it.
As much as I love the Harry Potter movies, I don't think that Deathly Hallows really needed a second movie. It could have just been made into a longer one.
Of course, but, you know, money grab.
Yeah,
and
money grab.
With Harry Potter, how many times have we looked back on cut scenes like, why was that taken out? Why did you put that in? I didn't care about that. I wanted to see that. Why didn't we see? You filmed Draco throwing him the wand. You cut that out?
Yeah, you cut that out, but you didn't. What? Like, you gave us 2 movies for that part.
Right. Like, if there were other scenes scenes that were filmed. Scenes that were filmed and put in there that, you know, it's a lot of the scenes have made it into the DVD versions.
And everything.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, a lot of it's the longer cut now, but they never finished the Draco scene. Like, you can only see a side of it in a behind the scenes clip.
Yeah,
there is no like footage that's ever been released of him of what they shot, as opposed to behind the camera.
Yeah.
That you can see that they found. Anyway, there's that. Okay, so we've seen movies that could have been put into one longer one, would have been totally fine. Hey, bring back the intermission. Great. Theaters would love it. They'd sell more snacks. It's awesome.
I mean, it also worked out for Grindhouse when they did that back in, 2005?
But Tarantino uses his head, so.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. With Justice League, the other things I've heard, there's literally only like 6 additional minutes that's been written and filmed. Everything else that's going into this was already part of the original film. Some of it wasn't finished, but principal photography was. If that makes sense. So there is more footage. We're getting up to like another 40-something minutes of footage in it on top of what was originally released in theaters. However, there's for $80 million or whatever it is they spent on this, 6 minutes of additional footage filmed.
Yeah.
Now,
about that.
With that 80 million, is this that again? You're also talking about a lot of finished product. He went back in there and changed Steppenwolf. He went back in there and like did his vision of stuff. We knew scenes had never been finished. They'd never been completed. They never went through post. So yes, that costs a lot of money, and rightfully so. Those people work really hard.
Yes.
With I don't know. It's kind of unprecedented. This much effort has not been made into re-releasing a movie like this.
Yeah, you know and it's definitely an experiment.
Yes.
And we're going to find out if this experiment worked or if it's going to flop horribly.
Yeah.
Now, because it's DC, though, I don't know that I have high hopes. And I really hope that this doesn't make it so that other production companies look at it and go, oh, we shouldn't do this too. No, it's just DC.
This is just DC.
It's just DC. We've come to we love DC, but we've also come to expect this from DC.
The bar is low.
Yeah, the bar is very low for DC. So
yeah,
it's par for the course for them. And so I really hope that other production companies don't use them as an example.
Yeah.
If it flops.
Yeah. Like it's a foreseeable mistake. You know, it in other words, every time we've looked back on what we didn't like about especially a DC Warner Brothers movie, it's like, well, yeah. Why did you do that? We could have told you that.
Yeah, like it's like you don't need business courses or like film school or any of this to realize, hey, you know, like sometimes getting back to basics is kind of what you fucking need to do.
I love that somebody released a story that before they start filming, or actually before they go into pre-production for Marvel movies, everybody has to sit down and watch Superman, Richard Donner's Superman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody just released this. They said, oh yeah, we have to sit, it's tradition. We have to sit down and watch Superman one more time to understand the balance necessary.
Yes.
For bringing these characters around. And it's not that everybody in the room loves the movie. It's that they appreciate the balance and the storytelling.
And see, that's the thing. Like the being able to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like these are comic book movies, and you do want to try and break a little bit new ground when you're making them, because you don't want to be telling the same story that you've heard 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you also have to honor where it came from.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. Like DC's problem is they have not been honoring their roots.
Yeah. And it
shows.
It shows. I don't know who is at what table telling them what giant spiders they need to have for this film. But stop.
Stop jumping the shark, DC. I know you're not going to listen to us, but
it's like all of the bravado, all of the whatever it was that Eisenberg was bringing to Justice League. I'm
not gonna start.
Whatever was happening there,
I think Eisenberg was a terrible choice for Lex Luthor.
I don't know what anyone was thinking.
Like he's too manic. Like, don't get me wrong, he's perfect for other roles, but Lex Luthor is calm and cool and calculated, not manic.
Yeah, manic, and it's like, congratulations, he has a ton of money and he thinks he's really clever and he's obsessive.
Yeah, like
I'm not afraid of that.
No, like Lex Luthor is smart. He's intelligent. Yes. Don't get me wrong, he does know his worth, but he's smart about it.
Yes.
He's not overly inflated about it. He's like, I know what I can do. I know my abilities.
He's had a lot of hard lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's someone that, I mean, he's an everyman in some ways. Like I've gone up against this, but you know, I do have a metric shit ton of money, so I can do a little bit more than just the average person about it.
When it's executed appropriately, this is supposed to be the person that Superman can't defeat.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the one guy who also makes mistakes, just like Superman makes mistakes. This isn't about anybody being whatever. But in the course of doing that form of Lex Luthor, all those scenes and Zod and
Yeah.
why. At no point it occurred to anybody, hey, you know what? We haven't really built up a good relationship with Superman in any possible way. So why are we making a movie where anybody cares about the fact that he's dead?
Yeah. Well, they did the death of Superman way too soon in the timeline.
And then everybody cared for some reason. Like, why does anybody care?
Yeah, it's like, okay.
We know why everyone would care if Superman died, but you didn't create Superman.
Yeah,
you created pouty Clark.
Yeah. And that's not Henry Cavill's fault. Like, I think Henry Cavill does a great job with what he is given. Yeah. He looks the part, he acts the part. It's just when you are given really bad writing, you can only go so far.
But I will say this with Henry Cavill, he's an actor who's very honest about the fact that he loves being successful. He works really hard towards success. He doesn't really work really hard towards acting.
Yes.
He works hard for the money. And
which is fine.
What happens is if you don't have somebody like Christopher Reeve, who is an actor, trained thespian, character development, you have no contribution from that person.
Because if you have someone that has the training, they can...
Or the care.
If they care about it, if they have the training, they're able to guide the direction a little bit better. And if you have someone who's just going in for the paycheck, like, they're going to give what they're given. They're not going to add much to it beyond that.
These are little moments that are born. We hear stories about, well, you know what, Bobby came up to me and, you know, he'd been going over the script and he working this. And he said to me, he says, you know what, I don't think my character would say that. And here's why. Or he's like, hey, I think we should, you know what I mean? Like in the middle of development, it's not anybody, you know, trying to bully the director or bully anyone else, or not when anybody oversteps their position.
Yeah.
But it's part of the collaborative process.
Exactly. It's a filmmaking, live streaming. It's all, any kind of entertainment thing is a collaborative process.
Yeah.
You've got so many different people working on it. Like in the case of a live stream, like right now, our audience is a part of this. Like they contribute to what we're, like, the conversation. And so, like, you know, it's a respectful conversation that needs to happen sometimes. And it's not necessarily overstepping to say, hey, you know, like, I've gotten in this character's head. And from what I understand of my character and how I'm going about my character, I don't think this fits. Not with how we've been portraying it.
Right. It's and again, you can back it up. You can say something about that. And when you come at from day one of pre-production with that in mind, there's a huge difference in what the finished product is. People make very clear decisions.
Yes.
Elaborate backstories that we as the audience may never know. And that's okay. That's not the point. The point is for the actor to do that. And when you're not given much, and I'm sorry, that is the dumbest Superman ever in history. Just dumb. I don't mean like, oh my God, bad character. No, I mean really dumb. Made really dumb decisions. Like really?
Don't get me wrong. The whole Zod dying thing, you know, you could say that maybe it was an accident. Maybe, like, Clark is still learning his strength as a superhero. But then you bring Doomsday, the next fucking movie, and Doomsday is a combination of Zod and not even an intimidating Lex Luthor.
Right.
And Doomsday is this giant hulking No.
So it's like, well, that wouldn't that just make Superboy
primordial Kryptonian?
Like just a Cro-Magnon four-headed Superboy? Isn't that all that would do?
Yeah.
Isn't that the last time they petri dish DNA with a Kryptonian and Lex Luthor? They got Superboy. How did
Yeah.
we get Doomsday?
Yeah.
I don't. That's not no.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. The other part of it is when you go back and watch the animated shows, they knew they had to trip up the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
They knew that they had to do things that were unexpected because major fans were watching these shows. Even
Yes.
when you were a kid, these were kids who read the comics, these are kids who knew the characters. So if we're going to bring in the next sidekick to Batman after Dick Grayson, we're going to call him Tim Drake, but it's really Tim meets Jason.
Yeah.
And the audience doesn't know what we're going to do with Jason Tim.
Yes.
Because if they just done Tim Drake and then Jason Todd, we would have seen what was coming. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So in the animated shows, they do Death of Superman differently.
Yes.
They did Doomsday differently. They do X-Force differently. It's clearly done from a fan who understood the point and it has a good plot. It has the same characters, but it does it in a way that you're watching the show like I have no idea what's going to happen next because this is
and see that's
very new.
That's something that, like, if you look at now hopping over to Marvel, the X-Men animated series from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yep.
And Apocalypse.
Yeah.
If you compare that to what they did to the shit show that was X-Men Apocalypse live action,
yeah,
that I am still salty I watched on my fucking birthday on opening day. I was so excited for that movie. I was so fucking excited for that movie because Days of Future Past was good. And then we also followed it up with, oh God, what was it? First Class?
Yeah.
Or no, it was First Class, then Days of Future Past.
First Class, Days of Future Past. Yeah.
So we had 2 X-Men movies back to back that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had high hopes. I was like, oh, they're bringing Jubilee in. Jubilee got a cameo for like less than a minute.
What is wrong with them not understanding we want Jubilee? I get it. You made Rogue Jubilee. I got it, but you didn't.
Yeah. No.
You didn't. You did, but you didn't. Like, I got it. But you can't replace one with the other.
Well, no. Like, Rogue's entire thing is, I mean, she's a fucking badass.
Yes.
And I get that, like, some of Rogue's abilities they couldn't, like, explain because they didn't have access to Captain Marvel. Well, I guess it would be Miss Marvel, based on when in the timeline. But so, like, they didn't have access to Miss Marvel and everything, but you could still have given her flying.
Something.
You just couldn't have given that explanation.
Yeah.
It could have been she accidentally, like, put another mutant into a coma instead. Instead of a Kree.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, the Kree.
Because obviously they didn't have access to the Kree.
Crisis, yeah.
But like there were ways to get around everything, and they could have given us Jubilee and still given Rogue her autonomy.
Yes. Yeah, it's not that much of a leap to have a young Rogue. It's not that much of a leap to have Eddie. It's not.
I mean, no Iceman
had a problem with that.
Iceman was like one of the original fucking X-Men. Like, he was part of the original team.
Yeah.
And so, like, seeing him in school, okay, like, that we'll suspend some disbelief here.
Yeah.
We'll let it be that Logan and Cyclops and Storm and Jean Grey, they can be your starting lineup. That's fine. But don't take Rogue's abilities away and turn her into a little sissy girl.
Yes.
And oh God, what's her name? What's the actress's name who plays Rogue again?
Oh, Anna Paquin.
Yeah, Anna Paquin. Anna Paquin did a fine job.
Yeah.
For
the role that she was tasked to play, whether it was Rogue or otherwise, there's a specific a part in the script that type of character is supposed to play.
Yeah.
Could have inserted, and it was around Rogue's powers, but you get what I mean. It's the cute sidekick girl.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you could argue that Jubilee was some of the stuff that happened in the animated series was similar in ways. Beyond just she's the cute sidekick. It's there are episodes that just follow like, oh, like Jubilee's learning her powers.
Yeah.
So like they did try to give us a Jubilee replacement. And like as an adult who's gone back and rewatched the X-Men animated series, and because like, as a kid I didn't know better. Because the first X-Men animated, not the first X-Men animated, the first X-Men live action movie came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on, like.
Which is about the age when I was watching the cartoon.
Yeah.
And
like I grew up watching the cartoon, but like when you're a little kid, you process things a little bit different.
Yes.
And you're a little bit less, you don't analyze it the same way. So going into the original X-Men movie, I was just like, oh, this is cool.
Yes.
Yes. The second
one was an enormous deal.
Yeah, like the fact that they were able to do so well. I mean, you could argue that the first X-Men live action movie was probably why we have the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Its level of success absolutely did change the game. It was the beginning of the superhero tentpole franchises. It's not that it's this, and you're looking at the financial success. It's kind of like asking yourself why Batman and Robin happened. Well, because of Batman Forever. It has nothing to do with you really liking the movie or thinking it's the best movie that's ever made or even your favorite from childhood. We have so many superhero movies, even like off the cuff ones that came out decades before X-Men came out. Absolutely. But Batman Forever, X-Men were enormous financial successes. And they're the beginning of owned property, Fox, Warner Brothers, owned property that you can just keep spitting out more and more. It's literally decades worth of material, and I can just keep going. It never has to end. And so yes, X-Men. I mean that premiere or that Comic-Con was also the beginning of the end of San Diego Comic-Con.
Here's a thought for you. Rogue became an important character when teamed up with Wolverine a bit. I mean, again, Jubilee and Logan
were you ever see like even posters of that? They're always together. Jubilee and Logan were always together. She, and it
Jubilee became basically his daughter.
And it was a way of humanizing him so that Wolverine was still kid friendly. Yes. But it also really worked. They also still created good characters and a dynamic that worked.
Exactly.
And that's the whole point of putting him with a kid, every time. Otherwise, he's just big angry dude. Like either he's taking care of aging Professor X, also humanizing, or he's babysitting, humanizing. Otherwise, he's just a jerk. Yeah, I mean.
Well, and like the kids, like also kind of teach Logan life lessons that he has forgotten.
Yes. You give him that little bit of purpose, no matter how jaded he's becoming. Because, I mean, God, how long can you live before you're really done?
Yeah, I mean, God, how old is the man because of the healing factor?
Somebody knows the exact age. I know somebody out there knows the exact age.
A
Um,
couple centuries at least, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. What he can remember anyway.
Yeah, and
And
that's assuming he does remember at any given point in time.
Yeah. And again, clearly fans don't have a problem with artistic license. We clearly do not have a problem with changing things for the medium, but at a certain point you need to understand it does get a bit tricky to write off Jubilee altogether, because for those of us who grew up watching the show and reading the comics, that was us.
Yeah.
Jubilee was us. She was the one in
she's the self-insert.
Yeah. It was important, and we couldn't really get that with Rogue the same way.
Well, because Rogue's powers, first off, like, like me touching someone is not gonna, and someone just like passes the fuck out and goes into a coma. That's not gonna happen to me. However, me touching an electronic and it fucking up, that is a very real day-to-day thing.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, again, the role that she was meant to play, this is where I give all the credit, like I said, with anytime they're still able to understand the character, understand the point of the story, and still trip us up. Yes. Even if you've read every single comic book, there's just things you're not going to see coming. There's episodes of Batman the Animated Series where I was like, oh, Deanie. That is so messed up. I'm still loving it, but that is so messed up. Like, they would have never put that in the comic.
Logan was a part of the Howling Commandos. And I think that's in the comic books too, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
But yeah,
and when that happens, you end up creating an amazing new character like Harley Quinn. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah, like, we are not opposed to some artistic license. I mean, like, if you look at Logan in the comics and the animated series versus Logan in the live action, we kind of got a strict upgrade. Let's be honest. Hugh Jackman is Logan,
right?
Like, I'm not gonna complain,
right?
I
mean, he looks like a dangerous pet in the comic books.
He kind of does. Whereas Hugh Jackman as Logan looks like he could actually fuck you up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Berserk. He definitely does Berserk.
Yeah.
Really great. All of that.
So, like, I am not going to complain. Like, that is one of those artistic license moments. Like, Logan, if I remember correctly, in the comics and everything, is like 5'4". So he's shorter than me.
Oh, yeah. Which was perfect for musical theater.
Yeah.
But
not so much on film. On film, you want people to, I mean,
Tom
don't get me
Cruise
wrong, there are things that I am not fucking afraid of Tom Cruise. I'm sorry, I can hit him with a chair. Like, excuse me, sir, can you get off your stool?
Did you need another apple box? You need a booster seat to drive that Hummer. That's why he does motorcycles, because they have to put him in a booster seat for any of the sports cars he's driving.
It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, he's 5'7". Tom Cruise is 5'7". So Tom Cruise is taller than me.
He's not 5'7".
Oh, that's what it says on
like
mine.
A dog. He's like 5'5".
He's my height.
He wears things. He's been called out on that a couple of times. Not least of which by his ex-wives. He's not 5'7". No. He's 5'5" in heels. Yeah. Well, there's 5'6" something in heels. Yeah. If you look at his shoes, he has the
stilts.
He does.
The rises, whatever they're called.
A rise.
That's
he
funny.
has a rise of at least 1.5 inches, if not 2 inches at times. Yeah. He's little. He's adorable. He's fine. Haven't you ever seen Tiny Tom Cruise from Family Guy?
It's been a while.
Oh my God, Tiny Tom Cruise. I remember
Family Guy is one of those things that don't get me wrong, I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
But it can be grating on my nerves.
Oh, Tiny Tom Cruise and the tricycle stalking Stewie.
I don't remember that.
It's one of the later episodes, and I remember it had just come out. I think it came out around the same time as A Million Ways to Die in the West. So Seth MacFarlane and Charlize Theron were doing promotions for A Million Ways to Die, and they were on the Graham Norton show with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. And the whole time I'm like, does Tom know? Does he know? Like, I want to tell him. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows Family Guy. They make fun of him on that show a lot. And Seth MacFarlane's just drinking his whiskey or whatever, like avoiding eye contact. And I'm like, does he not know about Tiny Tom Cruise? He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get a chance, there's this whole montage on it's, I don't know. I find it way too funny. Then I should. No, you're right. Somebody just commented in the sports cars when he's just in the little sports car that's clearly meant for a really short guy. Then Tom Cruise doesn't need a booster seat.
Yeah. No, it's like the hulking muscle cars that he does.
Yeah.
Like the Italian cars, you don't need a booster seat because it's made for small people anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Family Guy is a documentary. True.
Yes.
True. Yes. There are lots of Peter Griffins running around Rhode Island. This is true. And then this is what Seth MacFarlane has made abundantly clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but I say that about South Park too.
Oh yeah. Real quick plug. Guys, on Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time, so 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be on a D&D live stream. You should come check me out. We are playing on this Twitch channel. And it's potentially going to be a long-term campaign if things go right. So
Lyssa needs to get up to some more hours. She needs to get some more. She's almost there.
That is not my Twitch channel. That's just the one we're using for. However, since we're going to plug that as well.
Yes.
Let's copy link.
There you go.
Boop. That is my Twitch channel.
Oh, any news from potential sponsor?
Not yet.
Okay. Getting closer though.
Yeah.
Getting closer.
I checked my email earlier. I think it's because it's obviously the weekend. And I know for a fact that they were very busy on Friday. Partially because of me as well. They had a big sale going on.
Ah, yes. Have you tried the Brad Mondo colors yet?
I have not. But if things go well, I won't be.
Yes, right. She'll be exclusive.
I will have exclusives.
I know. Again, like everyone asks, what are we drinking tonight, Crysstal? Anyone who wants to give me money. I don't know. Could be Buzz Cola. It could be Sprite.
Maybe Two Geek Girls.
Could be Johnny Walker. I don't know. Give me money.
I mean, you guys giving us the money for Two Geek Girls to be my sponsor? I don't get me wrong. I do plug Two Geek Girls all the time.
Yes, you do.
Be like, hey guys, hey, I'm on this other show. Come check us out. Pay attention.
I guess we need to talk about. I know we'll be inserting some more scandalous stuff soon. I'm sure. Although I saw this not the TikTok trend. Although the sea shanty thing. All of it all of us from the Renaissance Fair are like, and.
I just love
you
that.
all made fun of us. You all made fun of us for doing this when we were Rennies. Now it's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Though I will say this, there are only so many times I can hear the Wellerman back to back to back. I love that song. It is one of my favorite shanties. But when you hear like 6 different versions of it back to back, your FYP, I'm sorry. It's the same reason why I can't do Christmas songs.
No, yeah. I mean, there's some beautiful iterations, but I'm my days of singing the Retland Tree and everything, even in an Irish accent, because they wouldn't listen to you otherwise if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you guys, this was cool before it was cool.
Yep.
Whether you guys wanted to admit it or not, y'all were doing it. Yeah, sea shanties, and then they just did a story on a woman who makes more than $1 million a year on YouTube for her ASMR and her mukbang
Yeah.
videos. And I'm just like, well, can I sit in front of my camera and eat a shit ton of Taco Bell while talking about something nerdy? Would that work?
Mm-hmm. It is a year since Walt Disney Company phased out Fox from 20th Century Fox and Searchlight Pictures.
Yes. Also predicted by Simpsons. Just saying.
Yes.
That was also predicted.
The House of Mouse must consume all. It must have its cheese.
Got to get my drink out.
Well,
okay.
anyways, it is 8:30. I know you have to go. You have work tonight, correct?
Yeah. Yup. Those weekend
So,
grinds.
Yes. I will be streaming on my Twitch later, guys. You should pop in and say hello. Help get me those average views. Stick around for a while.
Otherwise, she's just a weird girl who won't go to sleep. But if she has people watching her, then it's totally justified.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
All right, everyone, you have a great one. We will see you Thursday.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.